My wife told me she felt unappreciated and wanted space to breathe again. I listened carefully, didn't defend myself, and quietly moved out. Months later, she reached out when independence felt different without someone who had always shown up consistently. I need you to hear me right now. I feel invisible in this marriage, and I need space to breathe again. Those words hit me like cold water on a February morning. I looked up from my laptop at the kitchen table. My wife stood in the doorway, arms crossed, eyes red but determined. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. I'm 34, been married for 8 years, and I'd never seen that particular look on her face before. Not anger, not sadness, something worse, resignation. Okay, I said quietly. She blinked. Okay, that's all you have to say. I closed my laptop. You said you need space. I'm listening. She started, then stopped. I just need you to understand how I'm feeling. I hear you, I said. You feel unappreciated. You need room to breathe. Her jaw tightened. You're doing it again. That thing where you just agree with everything instead of actually engaging. I took a breath. I'm not trying to dismiss you. I'm trying to understand what you need. What I need is for you to care enough to fight about this, she said, voice rising. What I need is passion, not this calm acceptance of everything. I stayed quiet. She waited for me to argue. I didn't. Fine, she said after a long moment. If you won't even fight for us, maybe we do need space. She left the kitchen. I sat there for a while, staring at my closed laptop. Then I opened it and started looking for apartments. The thing about being married to someone for 8 years is you learn their patterns. My wife wanted me to chase her, to argue, to prove I cared by getting emotional. But I learned early in our relationship that when she got heated, my getting heated only made things worse. So I trained myself to stay calm, to listen, to not be defensive. I thought I was being a good partner. Apparently, I was being a distant one. That night, she slept in the guest room. I lay awake in our bed, thinking. The next morning, I made breakfast like always. She came down in her work clothes, surprised to see eggs and toast waiting. You didn't have to, she said. I know. She sat down, cautious. We ate in silence. I meant what I said last night. She finally spoke. I need space. I know you did. So what are we doing here? I set down my fork. I'm looking for a place. I should be out by the end of the week. Her coffee cup stopped halfway to her mouth. What? You need space. I'm going to give it to you. I didn't mean, she started, then caught herself. I didn't say you had to move out. You said you need room to breathe. Our apartment is only 900 square feet. Hard to get space when we're both here. She stared at me. So you're just leaving? Just like that. I'm respecting what you asked for. This is exactly what I'm talking about, she said, voice sharp. You're so busy being respectful that you're not actually present. Do you even care that our marriage is falling apart? I met her eyes. More than you know, which is why I'm listening to you. She looked away first. I have to get to work, she muttered. She grabbed her bag and left. I found a studio apartment 3 miles away. Furnished, month-to-month lease. I could move in immediately. Over the next 3 days, I packed my things. Clothes, books, my desk set up for work. She watched me from doorways, never saying anything. On Thursday evening, I loaded the last box into my car. She stood in the living room, arms wrapped around herself. This is really happening, she said. You asked for space. I asked for you to care. I do care. That's why I'm doing this. She laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. You're unbelievable. Most husbands would be angry right now. Would be yelling or trying to talk me out of it. Or something. Would that be better? At least it would be real. I picked up my keys. I've never been anything but real with you. Maybe that's the problem. I walked to the door. Wait, she said. I stopped. How long are you planning to stay away? As long as you need. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. I left before she could respond. The studio was small and cold and smelled like the previous tenant's air freshener. I set up my bed and my desk, hung my clothes in the tiny closet, sat on the edge of the mattress and stared at the blank white walls. My phone buzzed. A text from her. We should probably talk about logistics. Me. Okay. What do you need? Her, I don't know. This is weird. Me. Yeah. Her. Are we separated? Is that what this is? Me. I don't know what to call it. You needed space. I'm giving it to you. Her. Stop saying that. Me. It's true. Her. It's infuriating. I didn't respond. She didn't text again that night. The first week was strange. I worked from my studio, took my calls, made my deadlines. Cooked simple meals for one. Went to the gym. Came home to silence. She texted occasionally. Small things. The dishwasher is making that noise again. Your insurance stuff came in the mail. Did you take the good can opener? I answered each one. Offered to come fix the dishwasher. Told her to open the mail if she needed to. Admitted I did take the good can opener and would bring it back. Her responses got shorter. It's fine. Okay. Whatever. Week 2, my best friend called. Dude, what the hell? I just ran into your wife at the grocery store and she said you moved out. Yeah. Yeah? That's all you're giving me. She needed space. So you just left? That's what she asked for. He was quiet for a moment. Man, I don't know if you're the most understanding husband ever or if you're giving up. Maybe both. Have you guys talked about counseling or? She wanted space, not therapy. Space from you or space to figure things out. I didn't have an answer for that. Listen, he said gentler now. I've known you since college. You're a good guy. But sometimes you're so focused on doing the right thing that you forget to actually feel things. I feel things. Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, your wife just kicked you out and you're acting like it's a logical decision. It was her decision. It was a cry for help, man. And you answered by leaving. After we hung up, I sat with that. Was I running away? Or was I finally listening? Week 3, she called instead of texted. Hey. Hi, I said. Silence. How are you, she asked. Fine. You. This is so awkward. Yeah. More silence. Do you want to get coffee or something? She finally asked. If you want to. I'm asking what you want. I want whatever helps you figure out what you need. She sighed, long and heavy. You're doing it again. Doing what? Making everything about what I need. What about what you need? I need you to be happy. That's not, she stopped. Never mind. Coffee tomorrow. The place on 5th. What time? 10. I'll be there. She hung up without saying goodbye. I showed up at 9:55. She was already there, sitting at a corner table with a latte. I ordered black coffee and sat down across from her. She looked tired. Thanks for coming, she said. Of course. I've been thinking a lot. I waited. About us. About what I said. About everything. Okay. Do you remember the weekend we met? She asked suddenly. Your friend's birthday party. You were wearing a green dress. A small smile crossed her face. You asked me about the book I was reading. Nobody puts down Dostoevsky at a party unless they want to be left alone or want someone to ask about it. I wanted someone to ask, she admitted. You were the only one who did. Everyone else was doing shots. You talked to me about Russian literature for 2 hours. You talked back. She looked down at her latte. When did we stop talking? I don't know that we did. We did, she said firmly. We stopped really talking. Everything became logistics. Who's picking up groceries? What time is your meeting? Did you pay the electric bill? That's life. It doesn't have to be. Not all of it. I drank my coffee. When's the last time we had a conversation that mattered? She pressed. I thought about it. We talk about important things. We talk about practical things. It's not the same. She was right. I knew she was right. I'm listening now, I said. Are you? Or are you just waiting for me to tell you what to do? That hit closer than I wanted to admit. I don't know how to answer that. That's the problem, she said quietly. You don't know. You never know. You just adapt to whatever I need, whatever the situation needs. It's like being married to a very considerate ghost. I'm trying to be a good husband. I know you are. That's what makes this so hard. She wrapped her hands around her cup. My sister asked me why you left so easily. I told her you were respecting my wishes. She said it sounded like you didn't care enough to fight. Your sister never liked me. That's not true. She thinks I'm boring. A small laugh escaped her. She thinks you're too good to be true. Which, apparently, you are. I don't follow. She leaned forward. Nobody is that agreeable. Nobody is that calm all the time. You never get angry. You never raise your voice. You never tell me when I'm wrong or being unfair. You just accommodate. Would you prefer I yell? I'd prefer you be honest. I am honest. No, she said. You're polite. There's a difference. The coffee shop was getting crowded. A group of college students laughed loudly at the next table. I waited for her to continue. I've been seeing a therapist, she said after a moment. That's good. She asked me to describe a time when we had a real fight. Not a disagreement. A fight. We don't really fight. Exactly. In 8 years of marriage, we've never had a real fight. You know how crazy that sounds. I thought that was a good thing. It would be if it meant we were on the same page. But it doesn't. It means one of us is always swallowing what they really feel. You fight with me plenty. No, she said. I get frustrated at you and you absorb it. That's not fighting. That's me throwing punches at a pillow. I didn't know what to say to that. My therapist thinks we need marriage counseling. Okay. See? That right there. Okay. No questions. No pushback. No, let me think about it. Would you rather? I said no. I'd rather you have an actual opinion. I set down my coffee. You want my opinion? Yes. I think we've been coasting for the past 3 years. I think we both know it. I think you're right that we don't really talk anymore. I think I probably do defer to you too much. And I think moving out was the smartest thing I could have done because now we're having this conversation instead of pretending everything is fine. She stared at me. Where did that come from? You asked for my opinion. I did. I've never heard you talk like that. You've never asked me to. Her eyes got shiny. That's not fair. Maybe not. But it's honest. She looked away, blinking rapidly. I miss you, she said quietly. I miss you too. But not enough to come back. Not if back means the same patterns. She nodded slowly. The therapist can see us next week. Thursday at 4. I'll be there. We sat in silence for a while. The college students left. Someone started playing acoustic guitar in the corner. This is the longest real conversation we've had in months, she said. Yeah. That's really sad. Yeah. She finished her latte. I should go? I have a meeting at noon. Okay. We stood. Awkward pause. She stepped forward and hugged me quickly, then pulled back. See you Thursday. See you Thursday. I watched her leave. Sat back down. Ordered another coffee. My phone buzzed. My friend, how'd it go? Me. We're doing therapy. Him. That's good, right? Me. I don't know yet. Him. Do you want it to work? I stared at that question. Me. I want her to be happy. Him. That's not what I asked. Me. I know. The therapist's office was in a renovated brownstone. Soft lighting, comfortable chairs, a white noise machine in the corner. Dr. Chun was probably 50, kind eyes, practical demeanor. My wife and I sat on opposite ends of a couch. Thank you both for coming, Dr. Chun said. Let's start with why you're here. My wife spoke first. Told her about feeling unappreciated. About asking for space. About me moving out. Dr. Chin took notes. Then looked at me. What's your perspective? She asked for space. I gave it to her. And how did that feel? Like the right thing to do. Not how you thought you should feel. How you actually felt. I considered. Relieved, I admitted. And guilty about feeling relieved. My wife's head snapped toward me. Relieved? Not because I wanted to leave. Because I was tired of feeling like I was always doing something wrong without knowing what it was. Dr. Chin nodded. Can you expand on that? I'd come home from work and try to read her mood. If she seemed stressed, I'd be quiet. If she seemed chatty, I'd engage. If she seemed distant, I'd give her space. I spent so much energy trying to be what she needed that I forgot how to just be. My wife was very still. You never told me that, she said. You never asked. That's not fair. You could have brought it up. Could I? Every time I tried to talk about something bothering me, you'd either get defensive or shut down. So I stopped trying. Dr. Chun held up a hand. Let's pause there. I'm hearing both of you describe a pattern of avoidance. You. She looked at my wife. Express frustration at not feeling seen. And you. She looked at me. Respond by trying to anticipate needs rather than asking directly. Does that sound accurate? We both nodded. Here's what I'm wondering, Dr. Chin continued. When was the last time you two had a conversation where you were both vulnerable? Where you admitted something that scared you? Silence. That's what I thought, Dr. Chun said gently. You're both protecting yourselves. Which makes sense. But protection and intimacy can't coexist. My wife spoke up. I'm scared he doesn't actually love me. That he's just going through the motions because it's easier than leaving. Dr. Chin looked at me. I took a breath. I'm scared that nothing I do will ever be enough. That she fell in love with someone I was pretending to be and she's disappointed I'm not actually that person. My wife made a small noise. What person? Someone spontaneous. Passionate. Exciting. I'm not those things. I never was. I just tried really hard for the first year we dated. You think I don't know who you are? I think you know who I am and wish I was different. She was crying now. That's not true, isn't it? You said you wanted passion. Fights. Someone who pushes back. I wanted to know you cared enough to have opinions. I have opinions. I just learned not to share them because you didn't like them. Dr. Chun intervened. Can you give an example? I thought back. 3 years ago, your sister invited us to Thanksgiving at her place. 5 hours away. I mentioned that maybe we could do our own Thanksgiving for once. You got upset. Said family was important. Said I was being selfish. So I never brought it up again. My wife wiped her eyes. I didn't know you hated going to my sister's. I don't hate it. But I wanted the option to choose. We never choose. We always default to what you want. Because you never tell me what you want. I tried. You didn't like the answer. Dr. Chin made a note. I'm going to give you both homework. Separately, I want you to write down 3 things you've wanted to say to each other but haven't. Bring them to our next session. The session ended. We walked out together. Did you really feel that way about Thanksgiving? She asked. Yeah. For 3 years. Yeah. Why didn't you? I did. You don't remember because you didn't want to hear it. She stopped walking. I'm not the villain here. I never said you were. You're making it sound like everything is my fault. It's not your fault. It's our pattern. You push for what you want. I give in. You resent me for giving in. I resent you for pushing. Neither of us says anything. Repeat. She stared at me. When did you get so clear about this? I've had a lot of time to think. In your studio apartment. Yeah. Do you like it there? The question surprised me. It's quiet. That's not an answer. Sometimes quiet is nice. She looked hurt. I should go, she said. Okay. I watched her walk to her car, drove back to my studio, sat down and wrote my list. 3 things I never said. 1. I hate that you compare me to your dad. I will never be him. I don't want to be him. 2. When you criticize how I do things, load the dishwasher, fold laundry, plan trips, it makes me feel like a child, not a partner. 3. I love you, but I don't know if I like our marriage anymore. I stared at number 3. Save the document. A week passed. Work kept me busy. She texted occasionally. The heat in the apartment is acting up. Okay. Want me to call the landlord? I already did. Okay. You don't have to respond to everything. Okay. That was a test. You failed. I smiled despite myself. Thursday came again. We sat in Dr. Chen's office. Did you both do the homework? We nodded. Who wants to go first? My wife raised her hand slightly. I will. She pulled out her phone, read from her notes. 1. I'm scared I married my father. Someone who provides and protects, but never actually lets me in. I felt that in my chest. 2. I know I'm difficult. I know I have moods. I'm sorry you felt like you had to manage them instead of just being with me. Her voice cracked. 3. I don't know if I can be the wife you need if the wife you need is someone who doesn't have needs. She put her phone down. Dr. Chen looked at me. I pulled out my notes. Read all 3. The room was very quiet. My wife was crying again. I don't compare you to my dad. You do. Not in words, but in expectations. He was your hero. I'm just not. My dad left when I was 15, she said quietly. After 20 years of marriage. He left my mom for someone younger. More exciting. I've spent my whole adult life terrified of being my mother. I hadn't known that detail. You never told me he cheated. I didn't want you to see him that way. So you've been waiting for me to leave? Is that what this is? Maybe, she whispered. Maybe I pushed you away before you could leave on your own. Dr. Chin leaned forward. This is important. Both of you are operating from fear. Fear of abandonment. Fear of inadequacy. Fear of disappointment. And fear makes terrible decisions. My wife looked at me. Are you going to leave? I already did. You know what I mean. I don't know, I said honestly. I don't know if we can fix this. But do you want to? I thought about my quiet studio. My simple routines. The lack of tension. Then I thought about coming home to her smile. The way she laughed at stupid jokes. How she'd curl up against me on Sunday mornings. Yeah, I said. I want to. Even though you don't like our marriage. I don't like what we've let it become. That's different. She nodded slowly. I want to fix it too. Dr. Chin smiled. That's a good start. But wanting isn't enough. You need to do the work. Both of you. Over the next month, we met with Dr. Chin weekly. Slowly unpacked years of assumptions. Learned to ask instead of assume. To speak instead of accommodate. To fight productively instead of avoiding conflict. It wasn't easy. One session, my wife accused me of being passive-aggressive. I shot back that she was controlling. We both left angry. But we came back the next week. Another session, I admitted I'd stopped initiating sex because her rejections felt personal. She admitted she'd stopped being interested because she felt like a task on my to-do list. We both cried. 2 months in, Dr. Chin asked the question, do you want to try living together again? We looked at each other. I don't know, my wife said. What don't you know? Dr. Chin asked. If we're ready. If we've changed enough. Dr. Chin looked at me. What do you think? I think we'll never know unless we try. But I also think rushing back into old patterns would undo everything we've worked on. So what do you propose? Maybe, not yet. But soon. My wife looked surprised. You want to stay in the studio? I want to make sure we're both ready. Not just hoping we're ready. She nodded slowly. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're right. We should be sure. Dr. Chin smiled. Look at that. Healthy communication. Another month passed. We started having dinner together once a week. At restaurants, not our apartment. Neutral ground. We talked about real things. Our fears. Our hopes. What we wanted from life. Rediscovering each other. One night, over Thai food, she asked me something. Do you think you're a different person now than when we met? Probably. You. Definitely. I think I was trying to be someone I thought you wanted. I thought I was doing the same thing. So who are we actually? I considered. I'm someone who likes quiet. Who thinks before speaking. Who shows love through actions more than words. And who needs clear communication because I'm terrible at reading between the lines. She smiled. I'm someone who feels things intensely. Who needs verbal affirmation. Who has anxiety about abandonment. And who sometimes pushes people away to see if they'll come back. That's honest. Terrifying, you mean? Honest, I repeated. And I'm okay with all of that. As long as you tell me when you're pushing so I know to push back. I can try. That's all we can do. Try. She reached across the table. Took my hand. I miss our apartment. I miss you in it. Not yet. Not yet, I agreed. But soon. She squeezed my hand. Soon. 3 weeks later, she called me at midnight. Hey, sorry, I know it's late. Everything okay? The apartment flooded. Pipe burst in the unit above ours. Are you safe? Yeah, I'm at my sister's. But our place it's bad. They're saying we can't go back for at least 2 weeks while they repair the water damage. Do you need help getting your stuff out? Most of it's ruined. The insurance adjuster is coming tomorrow. Silence. You could stay here, I said. At the studio. I'll take the couch. I don't want to impose. You're not imposing. You're my wife. Am I? Yeah, you are. She was quiet for a moment. Okay, can I come over now? Of course. She showed up 20 minutes later with one duffel bag. Hair wet, looking exhausted. This is all I could grab before they made me leave. Come in. The studio felt smaller with both of us in it. She looked around. It's very you. Minimal. Organized. Clean. Lonely. Yeah. I made tea while she showered. She came out in my old college sweatshirt and sweatpants. This was in your drawer. Hope you don't mind. It's fine. We sat on the bed because there was nowhere else to sit. Drank tea. Thank you, she said, for letting me crash. You're not crashing. You're here. Is this weird? Extremely. She laughed. We're really bad at this. At what? Being separated. We're the worst separated couple ever. Probably. She set down her tea. Can I ask you something? Sure. If the flood hadn't happened, how much longer were you planning to stay away? I thought about it. I don't know. Until it felt right. Does this feel right? I looked at her in my old sweatshirt. Hair damp. Eyes tired. Yeah, I said. It does. She leaned her head on my shoulder. I'm really tired. Get some sleep. I'll take the couch. Don't, she said quietly. Stay. You sure? Yeah. We lay down together, on top of the covers. She curled into me like she used to. I forgot how good you are at being still, she murmured. Is that a compliment? It is now. She fell asleep within minutes. I lay awake, feeling her breathe against my chest. The next morning, I woke up alone. Panic hit for a second. Then I smelled coffee. She was sitting at my desk, my laptop open. Morning, she said. Hope you don't mind. I needed to email my boss about taking a personal day. No problem. I made eggs. We ate together at the tiny table. The insurance company is sending someone at 10, she said. I should probably go deal with that. Want company? She looked surprised. You don't have to. I know. But I can work from anywhere. Might as well be there if you need help. Okay, thanks. The apartment was worse than she'd described. Ceilings sagging, carpet soaked, furniture waterlogged. 8 years of our life together, damaged. She stood in the doorway and cried. I put my arm around her. We can replace things. It's not about the things. I know. The adjuster took photos, asked questions, made notes. Told us it would be at least 3 weeks, probably 4. We'd get a settlement for the damaged items. Could file for temporary housing assistance. After he left, we salvaged what we could. Photo albums, mostly. Some books that had escaped the worst of it. Her jewelry box. My grandfather's watch. We loaded it all into my car. Where do we even put this? She asked. My studio has a closet. This is more than a closet's worth. Then we'll make it work. We drove back in silence. Spent the afternoon organizing. Her clothes in my closet. Our photos in boxes under the bed. By evening, the studio looked lived in. Cramped, but lived in. I should call my sister, she said. Tell her I'm staying here. Okay. She made the call in the bathroom. Came out looking stressed. She thinks we're making a mistake. Does she? She thinks we're using the flood as an excuse to skip the hard work. What do you think? She sat on the bed. I think the universe has a weird sense of humor. How so? I asked for space. You gave it to me. Now we don't have a choice but to share space. It's like some cosmic joke. I sat next to her. We could get you a hotel room. If you want actual space. Do you want me to? No. But I want you to do what feels right for you. She looked at me. I want to stay here. If that's okay. It's okay. That night, we ordered pizza, watched a movie on my laptop, fell asleep in the same bed. It felt natural in a way it hadn't in years. The next week was strange. Both of us working from the studio. Her on calls at my desk. Me on the bed with my laptop. Navigating around each other in the tiny bathroom. Making meals in the kitchenette. But we were communicating. Actually talking. You're in my light. Sorry. I'll move. Can you grab the charger? Which one? The laptop one. Here. Thanks. Small moments. Building trust. One evening, she put down her work. Can I say something? Always. I like this. This. Us. Here. Like this. Cramped and disorganized. Present. We're actually present with each other. I saved my document. We are. I don't want to lose this when we get our apartment back. Neither do I. So how do we keep it? By remembering what it took to get here. She nodded. I'm sorry I made you leave. You didn't make me. I chose to. Why? Because you asked me to hear you, and I finally did. Most people would have fought harder to stay. I'm not most people. No, she said softly. You're not. 2 weeks later, the apartment was ready. New carpet, patched ceiling, fresh paint. We walked through together. It looked good. Different, but good. Weird seeing it empty, she said. Yeah. We need new furniture. New everything, really. The insurance settlement was generous. We could start fresh. Do you want to move back? I asked. She looked around. Do you? I asked first. She smiled. I want us to. Together. If you're ready. I think I am. You think? I know I am, I corrected. But I want to do it right this time. What does right look like? Honest. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Deal. We shook on it. Then hugged. Then kissed. First time in months. It felt like coming home. We moved back in together the following weekend. Bought new furniture together. Argued about colors and styles. Compromised. Laughed at how bad we were at assembling things. It felt different. Lighter. Real. Dr. Chun was pleased at our next session. How's cohabitation going? Good, my wife said. Really good. Any challenges? We had a fight about dish soap, I admitted. Dr. Chun raised an eyebrow. And I told her I thought her brand was a waste of money. She told me I was being cheap. We both got annoyed. Then what happened? My wife grinned. We actually talked about it instead of one of us just giving in. Turns out his brand irritates my hands. And my brand is better for the environment. We found a third option that works for both of us. Look at you two, Dr. Chin said. Fighting productively. It only took 8 years, I said. Better late than never. The months that followed weren't perfect. We still had bad days. Moments of friction. But we talked through them. Didn't let resentments build. Checked in with each other. Actually asked what the other person needed. 6 months after moving back in, we were having dinner. Normal Tuesday night. Pasta and salad. Can I tell you something? She said. Of course. I'm glad you left. I looked up. Really? I know that sounds terrible. But you leaving forced me to actually look at what I was doing. What we were doing. If you'd stayed and just kept trying to make me happy, we'd probably be divorced by now. Heavy dinner conversation. She laughed. Sorry. I've just been thinking about it. You giving me exactly what I asked for was the biggest gift you could have given me. Even though you didn't actually want it. Especially because I didn't actually want it. I needed to see what space without you actually felt like. And it felt empty. And quiet. And lonely. And it made me realize I'd been taking you for granted. I was taking you for granted too. How? I assumed you'd always be there. That our marriage would just continue. I wasn't actively building anything. She reached across the table. We're building now. Yeah, we are. Later that night, as we got ready for bed, she caught my eye in the bathroom mirror. I love you. The actual you. Not who I wanted you to be. I love you too. Even when you're difficult. Especially when I'm difficult. Maybe not especially. She threw a towel at me. I caught it. We both laughed. And it felt like us. The real us. Finally,